Today I'm diving deep into the mind-blowing reasons why Goonies 2 never happened, and I challenge myself to uncover the truth behind this Hollywood mystery. And I apologize for the beard. It's for an acting role I have coming up. Oh, and also, the most surprising reason is pure genius. Paul here. The Goonies is a cult classic that has captured the hearts of many, and its sequel has been one of the most highly anticipated films in recent history. For decades, fans have been eagerly waiting for the next installment, only to be left disappointed time and time again. But what really went wrong? Why did Goonies 2 never see the light of day? Buckle up, because this tale is wilder than One-Eyed Willie's pirate ship. Now, you might be thinking, but wait, didn't they make a Goonies 2, huh? Well, sort of, but not really. There was a Nintendo game called The Goonies 2 back in 1987. Of course, that doesn't count. It wasn't even that fun of a game. But we're talking about a proper big screen sequel here, folks. So why did it not happen? Was it because the Tellies were too scared to come back after getting their butts kicked by a bunch of kids? Did Sloth decide to pursue his true passion of becoming a professional ice cream taster? No, it's even crazier than that. Let's set the scene. It's the mid-1980s. The Goonies is a massive hit. Everyone's clamoring for more adventures with Mickey, Mal, Dad, and all the gang, you know? You'd think a sequel would be a no-brainer, right? Not so fast. Here's where things get interesting. Despite its popularity, the Goonies faced some major hurdles when it came to the sequel. First up, the cast. The adorable misfits weren't staying young forever. By the time the serious talks of a sequel rolled around, our lovable gang of treasure hunters had hit puberty harder than Chunk hit that Rocky Road ice cream. But surely Hollywood could work around that, right? Well, that's where the plot thickens. The Goonies wasn't just any movie. It was a Steven Spielberg production, as you probably know. And there's one thing Spielberg is known for, besides making us afraid to go into the water. It's being incredibly picky about sequels. And he should be. Spielberg, along with director Richard Donner and writer Christopher Columbus, had a very specific vision of the Goonies. They didn't want to make a sequel just for the sake of making money. Okay? They wanted something that could capture the magic of the original. And let me tell you, finding that magic was harder than locating One-Eyed Willie's treasure map. Yeah, over the years, there were numerous attempts to get a Goonies sequel off the ground. Didn't happen. Scripts were written, ideas were tossed around, but nothing really landed. Nothing took hold. Nothing ever quite lived up to the original. It's like trying to replicate your grandma's secret cookie recipe. It ain't happening. The magic just can't be created. But wait, there's more. In a plot twist worthy of a Spielberg movie, it turns out that the very thing that made the Goonies so special and unsequelable, and I made that word up, the heart of the movie was about that fleeting moment between childhood and adulthood. That last great adventure before real life kicks in, kind of like Stand By Me, you know? How do you recapture that when your cast is old enough to have their own Goonies? But the most surprising reason behind the cancellation of Goonies 2 is it was actually a victim of its own success. Hey, who isn't? The original film's cult following was so dedicated that it created unrealistic expectations for the sequel. The filmmakers were under so much pressure to deliver something that would satisfy every fan's fantasies that it became an insurmountable task. Yeah, it's a classic case of be careful what you wish for. The fans wanted a sequel so badly that it ended up being its own downfall. Pure genius. And to be honest, some other sequels probably should have followed that same advice. Major League 2, Ghostbusters 2. Anyway, I know what you're thinking. But what about all those rumors we've heard over the years, huh? And yes, the Goonies sequel rumor mill has been churning out more stories than Chunk at a police station. Every few years, someone would claim that Goonies 2 was finally happening. Heck, even as recently as 2024. That's this year. There was whispers of a sequel in the works, right? But here's the kicker. Those rumors were about as real as One-Eyed Willie's ghost. Yeah, in fact, several of the original cast members have come out to debunk these claims, and it's not happening. It looks like Goonies 2 is about as likely as Sloth on the cover of GQ. Okay, I'm going to quit with those references. All right. Anyway, it wasn't for lack of trying, but the sequel just never happened. Just like the Goonies themselves, you got to know when to call it quits and go home. But hey, maybe that's not such a bad thing, right? I mean, after all, The Goonies stands as a perfect timeless classic. No sequel needed. What are some other movies that are unsequelable? Maybe The Princess Bride. I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments. And remember, Goonies never say die. But sometimes they do say, let's quit while we're ahead. All right, so what do you think? Are you bummed that there was never Goonies 2? There still might be in the future, but I doubt it. Are you glad they left well enough alone? It's what I'm saying. Let me know in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and remember, trufflin' shufflin'.